Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. I'm your host, Eric, and of course, once again, thank you for tuning in. To this podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you today. We have a little bit of a little review about what happened on SmackDown, segueing into a preview of Monday Night Raw tonight, which is on as we speak. Um, Also, we have a little bit of my personal WrestleMania power rankings, kind of like, things that happened in the past WrestleManias that I felt like shaped the wrestling organization. Completely subjective. Absolutely. Like, obviously, I have a lot of moments from like when I started watching wrestling and didn't give too much respect to the people that, watched during the late 80s and I apologize, but I'm the host, yo. If you have any problems with it, make sure you just talk to me and shoot me a question. We get a number of questions that come in from the viewers, so to ensure that your question gets read on air, I ask you to use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net with your questions. Just put your questions up on top of the list so that I can see it, we can talk about it. You can tell me how dumb I am or how crazy my takes are, but or you can just be like, hey, you know what? I remember that moment, and that really did, like, set in the mind for wrestling fans right there. Good job, Eric. Good job. Right along there, laddie. I don't know why I went to a Scottish accent. If y'all are Scottish out there watching me, I apologize. Um, but anyways, it really helps the show, guys. Leave a positive review. We love peace, love, and positivity at the GSMC Sports Network. So don't be afraid to talk to me. Use the tips or donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Once again, that link is the gsmcpodcast.net. So let's go on into it. What do we have here? What do we have on tap? We have our SmackDown review. Obviously, these shows leading into WrestleMania, it's pretty big, guys. Every show matters. Every little detail, every little promo, every little match matters. So tonight, Monday Night Raw is going to be no different. Absolutely no different. So give it a look. See on the USA Network. So let's jump into the SmackDown review. We have the Kevin Owens and Randy Orton teaming up against Pretty Deadly. From hindsight, you can kind of assume that this was going to be just a smash fest by Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, but Pretty Deadly, they're a pretty darn good team. Their chemistry's great. They know how to like kind of antagonize their opponents. They know how to shoot promos, of course. But all in all, this match was interrupted by Randy and Kevin's opponent at WrestleMania 40, Logan Paul, the Logan Paul. I think right now Logan Paul's MO is using the brass knuckles, and I think the last time a wrestler kind of used that MO was William Regal. He called it the power of the punch, and then when the referee wasn't looking, he dive into the and bam, and then there goes. That's the 1, 2, 3 right there, and that's how he's able to be effective. And still to this day, everybody remembers William Regal's name, where he's heavily involved in NXT. So you can't really say that he was not like a blemish on the world of wrestling. He left a scar. Um, so Randy chased Paul all the way out into the parking lot where Paul hopped into his car and he drove away. He drove away much like a heel, absolutely playing that heel fest pretty good. He disturbs the match. He causes Kevin and Randy to lose a match that they were highly expected to win. I know I expected them to win, but it's also good to create that kind of scrutiny amongst the tag team partners of Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. Actually, next SmackDown, they're going. Randy Orton's going to be a guest on the Kevin Owens show, so I can imagine Logan Paul finding a way to crash that. All right. Next, we're going to talk about Jade Cargill's debut. We talked about this before. I feel like WWE has some pretty big plans for her. Especially that they're booking her into a WrestleMania so fast. And she's gonna be with big name competitors. Like she's gonna be with the Kabuki Warrior. She's gonna be with Asuka, Naomi, and Bianca Belair. They're gonna be in the room in the ring tearing it up. It's gonna be really good. I really hope that match is. I don't know if it's a night two kind of the match, but it wouldn't surprise me if it didn't end up on night two. Speaking that you kind of want to push over Jade because they signed her. She was a really big fish on the free agent market, and WWE Triple H was able to sign her to a contract. Especially, I know a lot of AEW wrestlers kind of feel reluctant to join WWE because for the longest time, the product in WWE was to promote their homegrown superstars, and then the outsiders like from ECW, WCW, TNA was kind of like a no-no, and you were kind of like the not the butt of the joke. I don't want to say that because I don't want to devalue, but any wrestlers. You were kind of just like that beat up guy. And I know y'all know what I'm talking about, like where like you have somebody big like Braun Strowman coming out and he needs some guy just to beat up and show how strong he is. So why Braun Strowman is just the monster among men. Whatever happened to Braun Strowman? And he's still on the WWE roster, so I don't think he went very far. But I don't know. Jade, she's destined for pretty good things. She signed a contract in ring with the SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis, who's recovering from a bicep surgery. But a storm is coming. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. For me, like when I think about Storm, I kind of think of X-Men, like Halle Berry with like the dyed hair and everything. I don't know if that's what she's trying to go for. And I'm not, if that was her thing, I don't mean to rat her out. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't know. I think that's a pretty good. I think it's pretty cool. I think she cements her name, especially as one of the dominant superstars, and she just joined at the Royal Rumble where she eliminated Becky Lynch, Nia Jax. So big things for her. All right, moving on. We had AJ Styles promo looking for LA Knight. The way they're kind of pinning these guys against each other has been absolutely great. But I know I kind of pick LA Knight to come out victorious on WrestleMania 40, which kind of sucks because like lately you haven't really been seeing a lot of AJ Styles in the main card, which makes me believe that he's probably going to let his contract ride out and probably join AEW or go back to TNA, or maybe he might Ring of Honor or New Japan Wrestling, like who knows. But out there, AEW has a pretty good product. You have Dynamite every Wednesday. You have Rampage. You also have Saturday Night like Collision. So they have shows up to Yin Yang. Definitely, a chance for a lot of young talent to come up. Also, like that's Edge, Christian Cage, Samoa Joe. They went to AEW because they can get better exposure. That's a way that they can better like further their own product, especially AJ Styles. Kind of like getting to the to the season point of his career, but he's still great. He's still phenomenal, guys. Remember that. Also, we had Austin Theory and Grayson Waller defeating the Street Profits. Kind of saw this coming, where on the Titantron it showed Karrion Kross and Scarlett beating up Bobby Lashley and B-Fab. So that was how they got the win. And of course, after the match, then the AOP comes in and kind of cements their like 2 cents on the situation. Basically, AOP and the Street Profits have been just feuding for the longest time. I feel like it's been going on for well over a month now, ever since AOP decided to come back. So this is going to be pretty good. I think AOP and Karrion Kross, the Final Testament, will fight Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits at WrestleMania in a triple, like, in a 3-on-3 tag team match, which is going to be pretty good. I don't know if it's, I hope it's not like the pre-show. I don't think that's like pre-show, where I think that's going to be like maybe like night one, maybe match two or something like that. But all these superstars are really like, they're in top tier shape. They're ready to carry the company on their back. The Street Profits, as well as Bobby Lashley, I believe they kind of deserved a push a long time ago. Bobby Lashley for sure. Bobby Lashley has been, more than a soldier in the world of wrestling, especially when it comes to the WWE. He came back to the WWE. He was WWE champion for a little while there, but I think that was a little bit during the pandemic and post-pandemic, where he was kind of like that, kind of like in the NFL where you have that bridge quarterback, kind of like what Sam Darnold's doing right now for the Minnesota Vikings. Like whether trying to like draft and trying to get like some young gun to kind of learn under his wing a little bit, kind of test the ropes a little bit, test his abilities, and just I don't know, under his tutelage. So we'll see what happens. Moving on. Next, we have the LWO confronting Santos Escobar as well as Angel and Humberto Carrillo, Electra Lopez, and then of course the newly acquired from the Legado del Fantasma, um, Dominic Mysterio. Which, oh god, I hate that guy. No, I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to. What's the word? I'm not trying to say hate is good. Definitely not hate. Dirty Dom just grinds my gears, I guess we can just say. Because I don't know what's gonna happen after the whole Judgment Day thing is going to go under. I don't know how long his singles wrestling career is gonna last. Especially, after he stabbed his back against his dad. I know pretty soon they're probably gonna want a one-on-one match. I'll put an Eric guarantee that probably SummerSlam you're gonna see Rey Mysterio versus Dom. It's gonna be a rematch, and you're probably gonna see Dom win, just to kind of in hopes that WWE would hope to push him as soon as Rey Mysterio retires. But you have this match going on. The LWO has officially cemented their name in WrestleMania 40, one of the match cards. You're going to have Rey Mysterio and the newest member of the LWO, Dragon Lee, taking on Santos Escobar and Dirty Dom. So this match is going to be pretty good. But what I kind of really wanted to talk about was like you had just so many other outside factors that just have, you also have Garza and Carrillo, and you have Lopez. I hope Lopez takes on Selena Vega. That'd be pretty cool for probably like a pre-show or something like that. Also, you would have like I know the LWO they're gonna participate in the Stand and Deliver pay-per-view in NXT, so I don't think really they can have a chance to like fight there. But it'd be nice to see Carlito team up against like a mystery partner against Angel Garza and Alberto Carrillo. That'd be pretty darn entertaining to see. So, anyways, also the new Catch Republic is going to WrestleMania. You have Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates, kind of like the your non-traditional tag teamers, I guess you can say, gonna go to the six-pack ladder match, and it's gonna be big. It's gonna be a good one. So far we have the New Catch Republic, we have the champs Damian Priest and Finn Balor, DIY, The Awesome Truth, New Day, and you also have Theory and Waller. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be a great match. I heard there was speculation stating that they were gonna pull Austin Theory and Grayson Waller for another tag team. I can kind of see this happen because what WWE likes to do, especially during WrestleMania, where you have all these stars come out, you have John Cena coming back, or you have like Goldberg making a weird appearance. Like you'll get you'll need to have these antagonists, kind of like these jerks, kind of like these total heels, these total self-centered, self-absorbed guys. And Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are like that's like the definition of that. Wouldn't it be awesome? Wouldn't it be awesome to see them talking crap about like old wrestlers and stuff like that? And then, for example, like Shawn Michaels comes back or The Undertaker comes back, which is actually, I heard a headline that The Undertaker is training to make one final match. So that'd be interesting. Although the Boneyard match with AJ Styles for I think that was his final match. It was pretty good, pretty good. But I don't know. It should be interesting to see that. That's the only reason why I would see Theory and Waller being dragged out of this six-pack ladder match. But you got to respect the process. WWE, they know how to entertain, especially after TKO took over with The Rock, with a little bit knowledge of the Attitude Era and his background in Hollywood movies, kind of behind the screen and off. So you got to, give the keys to Rock. We'll see how he, takes the company. Also, the ending it was pretty good. It was a great way to kind of get Jade Cargill into the mix, so to speak. You had for the longest time, Damage Control has been beating up Bianca and Naomi, and the numbers game was it was too powerful for them when they were getting beat, and all of a sudden, bam! Jade Cargill's hit, and her music hits, and the storm is coming, and she came in and she laid out all three members that were attacking. So should be interesting. You're gonna have a 3-on-3 match among in the women's division. Kind of like I know Naomi's trying to make a comeback. Naomi's trying to make a comeback after her long hiatus. Also, you have Bianca Belair. That's been she. It seemed like she hasn't had a title. She lost her title against Io, which they're probably going to build up to perhaps like a rematch with Io. if she keeps the strap. But I'm pretty confident. I think Bailey's gonna win at WrestleMania because I think you can just right now Bailey's heading toward that baby face, so you can probably have maybe. Oh, it'd be interesting to see Bianca maybe jump ship. Maybe she starts to be a heel and she starts to like antagonize like Jade Cargill and like Naomi and stuff like that, and like all because she wants to get even with Bailey. She deserves that. She has that right because of all the times Damage Control just screwed up Bianca. That's the reason why she lost her title. So I know if it was my title, I don't like to hold grudges, and I don't permit the act of holding grudges because in the end it just hurts yourself. But like if you just if I was a champion, no, I'm just kidding. I would want to get revenge against someone who destroyed my title run. And it's the WWE. You don't get a lot of shots. You don't get a lot of shots when it comes to WWE. So, in that, I think right now they're doing it pretty well. But I don't know, it's gonna be pretty cool to see those six superstars in the ring at once. So, in that. Um, all right, moving on. This is a little sneak peek into our next. We have our WWE RAW preview. It's going to be a pretty good one. It's going to be taking place at the Barclays Center, a historic and legendary venue for WWE. So I expect nothing but the less of something great, something crazy. The Rock and Roman Reigns are supposed to be there. So I don't know. Maybe something already happened, but I don't know. Let's get into it.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We just got done talking about our SmackDown review. It was a pretty darn good one. Jade Cargill's debut. Also, a lot of WrestleMania implications. Next, we have to look forward to is WWE RAW, which is taking place tonight at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. So, yeah, but before we get into that, of course, we get a number of questions from our viewers that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on air, I ask you to use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net with your questions. Just put your questions at the top of the list so I can see it, so we can have a nice little conversation. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, tell me what you would like to further elaborate, further elaborate on. Also, it's nice to have a nice little positive, feedback. It really helps the show, you guys. A positive review is it'll go a mile, and feedback is a gift. Peace, love, and positivity all the time. So again, the link is the gsmcpodcast.net. Use the tips and donations link. Let's do it. All right, so moving on, we have our WWE Raw preview. This has been highly anticipated, especially after what happened with the last Monday Night Raw, and I don't know, it was absolutely crazy. But before we get into that, like I said before, this is last Monday Night Raw, guys. So you can expect a lot of action going on, a lot of just a lot of matchmaking. Perhaps your last like little hurrah to be like, oh, I challenge you at WrestleMania. This and that and the other. This is the last. This is the last Monday Night Raw before Mania, guys. It's kind of like the last game before the Super Bowl. So if you want to talk in NFL terms, but so you can expect something really, really good. to happen, especially the way Monday Night Raw has been slaying it in the ratings. They've been killing it, absolutely. Well, they are a 3-hour show as opposed to SmackDown, which is a 2-hour show. But the ratings are, relatively, the same. You have the same superstars just absolutely killing it. That's you got to respect the WWE. You may be a fan of AEW, or TNA, Ring of Honor. You have to respect that WWE knows how to get the job done, and vice versa. Like as a WWE fan, I got into AEW and I loved it. I loved it. Every second of it. I've also tried to keep tabs on TNA Impact as well as Ring of Honor, and it just kind of I know they're not on like main like cable television like AEW is and WWE, but there's a lot of great talent out there, guys. A lot of great wrestlers. Just because they're not featured on TBS, TNT, USA, or Fox or Peacock for that matter, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a second-rate wrestling show because it's actually pretty darn good. Next, let's talk about how DIY and the New Day are teaming up against the Judgment Day. So I can see Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, New Day, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods against the Judgment Day. It's probably going to be Finn Balor, Damian Priest, JD McDonough, and Dirty Dom. So an 8-man tag team match. And I like 8-man tag team matches. That's the reason why I really love the Survivor Series, is because the traditional 5-on-5, elimination match. I don't know if it's going to be an elimination match. I think it would make it a lot better if it was an elimination match. But it's going to be kind of interesting to see. I know a lot of people thinking that this is just like, oh, this match doesn't matter. It's just going to be basically, kind of just like giving people a taste of what's going to happen at the 6-pack ladder match at WrestleMania 40. But I think it has a lot of implications. It has a lot of implications. I think if the Judgment Day lose this match, I think they might consider breaking up the stable. Like right now, you have Rhea Ripley. She's so over right now. She's absolutely propelled herself to superstardom. Dom and JD, they're kind of like like, and I don't like to use the word joke because of their God-given wrestling abilities, but they're kind of like the second-rate stars who get beat and stuff like that. And I don't really see them going anywhere. And I kind of miss seeing Finn Balor in singles competition, but that just could be my fandom kind of getting in the way there because I liked how Finn Balor was. He was the first ever Universal Champion, and due to an circumstance unprecedented, he was forced to give up the title, and who knows how much success he would have sustained if he would have never got injured and kept the Universal Championship. So definitely I want to see Finn Balor kind of make a comeback, and Damian Priest, Senor Money in the Bank. I kind of still have the confidence to say that he's definitely going to cash it in this pay-per-view. It'd be kind of naive if he didn't. You know what I mean? Especially when you have the champions, Seth and Cody. No, Seth and Roman fighting 2 matches, back-to-back dates. They're both going to be grueling, matches. I kind of had the thought that during night 1, he's going to cash in when Seth Rollins is all beaten and battered, and ultimately beat Seth. So at night 2, he has to defend his championship against Drew McIntyre. But I can kind of see like Seth Rollins kind of getting in the mix and like demanding a rematch and stuff like that, and invoking his rematch clause the next night. So having like that triple threat match between Drew, Seth, and Damian, I think that would be pretty cool. And I would ultimately see probably Drew McIntyre picking up the W. And I'm not like trying to I'm not trying to, dump on, Damian Priest because I think he's a good talent. I think he's definitely a great wrestler and superstar. I liked him as soon as, he came out of NXT. But to be honest, I don't think you can build that many promos or that many matches around him. You know what I mean? Like right now, a lot of people just see Damian Priest as like not. He's a little more than a mid-carder. If he would cash his Money in the Bank in the Intercontinental Champion Gunther and hold the Intercontinental Championship for quite a while, I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Absolutely not. I would, be I'd be like, okay, I can see Damian Priest represent the Intercontinental division more than he would the WWE or World Heavyweights. And I'm not trying to be a hater, but let's just face it. Like you have, Roman Reigns, you have Cody, you have AJ Styles, you have all these main like complete like heavyweights who are ready to kind of fight matches that aren't with Roman. Kind of matches that are because a match with Roman is basically like kind of kind of condemning you to a loss already. Because he had the bloodline, he still has the bloodline. He still has Jimmy and Solo and the Wise Man, and now he has The Rock. So right now that winning the WWE Championship in Roman's possession seems Universal Championship in Roman's possession seems just like a lost cause, and it seems like it's not going to happen. But if Cody wins the championship, I can see Cody kind of facilitating that division a lot better, kind of giving people like I'm not going to say he's going to lose the championship right away. He'll probably hold it, but not as long as Roman Reigns. But I could be wrong. So anyways, next match, we have Ivy Nile and Maxine Dupree against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. It should be interesting to see how Candice kind of forgoes this match, thinking that she's been on a complete rampage lately, that she's been just attacking. Even her partner Indy's like, what the heck's wrong with this girl? Like, dude, like, what's up? So obviously Candice LeRae is sick and tired of being like this baby face and from NXT. I think she's, going for the jugular and trying to, promote her brand a little more, which is good. But doing that, you kind of open yourself up to criticisms, and you also kind of, if you want to put your hat in the ring of the heels, go ahead, but you got to back it up. If you think about a lot of the heels you see back in the WWE, back in history, or even current, these are girls or men in the men's division that can back up their stuff. The reason why they're such jerks, the reason why they're self-centered, and the reason why they talk down to others is because they know that no one could beat them. They know that they're just untouchable and that they're good at what they do. And that's why Roman is such a great champion. That's why I feel like Seth Rollins had been doing the job pretty well. That's why Brock Lesnar was pretty good at when he was champion. That's why they tailor made a lot of promos and a lot of like main events and pay-per-views around them because you have that confidence. And I think the WWE universe and just wrestling fans in general can kind of see that. So it's interesting to see what they do with Candice's character tonight, but who knows? And so just a little, reminder that the first hour of Monday Night Raw is going to be commercial free, which is actually pretty cool. Also, you have Sami Zayn against Bronson Reed. Sami Zayn looking to get his revenge on Bronson Reed after he was distracted by Gunther, and he's trying to build up that last little smidge of momentum heading into WrestleMania 40. But the ring general, man, like Gunther, it's not going to be an easy fight, and honestly, I like Sami Zayn, but I kind of want to see Gunther, retain. I'm not trying to ruin anybody's day or night, but I don't know. I just would, Sammy over Gunther. We shall see. We shall see. Also, so save this for last, of course. Last Monday Night Raw, Cody Rhodes was beaten to a bloody pulp by The Rock. The Rock has the final boss. The final boss has kind of made it clear to Cody that he is not going to beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, let alone the tag team match that they're going to have together. He had the blood and he was smearing it all over the belt. Like he kept saying Mama Rhodes, and it was gruesome. It was a little aggressive, to be honest. I kind of watched it and I was like, I'm not happy because I'm not like weird like that. But I know you kind of see that and you're like, oh my God, like this is new age wrestling. Like what is like why is The Rock doing this? Why is The Rock hurting Cody so bad? Like, dude, it's just a match, man. But I don't know. I think since this is the last Monday Night Raw and it's gonna be the last episode of SmackDown, I think Cody needs to respond back. Cody needs to do something crazy. He needs to attack The Rock, or I know The Rock and Roman are going to be together tonight. And it's kind of had the past couple of shows have kind of went back and forth like a ping pong table match. Like, okay, it looks like Cody gets the upper hand. Oh no, it looks like the Bloodline has the upper hand. And on that, balance beam of WrestleMania fortitude, you kind of need you kind of need Cody to kind of do something here. You need some you need to make him The Rock, meaning him. You need to make him seem human. Like right now, The Rock is this physical specimen. Right now, The Rock hasn't been attacked or kind of hasn't been shown his vulnerabilities since returning back to the WWE, and just in general, The Rock's character. A lot of people don't see him getting like beaten up to a bloody pulp or being attacked, and people like, damn, The Rock just got smacked. Like you don't see The Rock in a lot of those, promos or a lot of those matches. But if Cody could do something to kind of make The Rock kind of feel human, kind of bringing him back down to earth here, I think that would do wonders for the WrestleMania Night 1 match and Night 2. So, with that was my opinion about that. So, all right. Don't go anywhere. We have segment 3 coming up where I rank in my, it's subjective of, it's my total opinion. It's how I think a lot of these WrestleMania moments shaped up the wrestling product we have today. So, yeah, don't go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric, here with all your wrestling deets. Just to kind of reflect on what we talked about so far. We talked a little bit about a SmackDown review. We also previewed a little bit of Monday Night Raw tonight at the Barclays Center. But now, let's we're in the spirit of WrestleMania. So these are my WrestleMania main event moment power rankings. Like I said, I hope you like them. If you don't like them, use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net and let me know how you feel. So we can talk about it. All right. So without further ado, I have 10. So we're going to start from, the bottom of the ladder here. So at number 10, I have, of course, you have to have the first ever WrestleMania. We have the moment. We have Hulk Hogan teaming up with Mr. T against Rowdy Piper and Paul Orndorff, 1985. And I put this in here because you kind of have to pay respects to it. Obviously, I didn't watch this. This is like one of those things where you kind of see like highlights, and Muhammad Ali was part of it. But this was really big. This was very big for the world of wrestling, especially for WWF, where Vince McMahon went out and he got these big name wrestling superstars. And he kind of brought them to this big stage. He kind of, WrestleMania. It's supposed to be like the Expo, it's the Super Bowl. You have the best of the best from the world of wrestling, not just WWF, in particular, but just the world of wrestling going at it amongst one another. And it also kind of introduced the implementation of, pop culture, like celebrities starting to go to WrestleMania, being a part of the action, so to speak. And I think this, obviously, Vince, once when he pushed this product of WrestleMania, spent a lot of money. So this was essentially, back in the day, this was like a make it or break it for Vince McMahon. If this went south and the product was terrible, you very much, probably would never been introduced to WWF or WWE if this WrestleMania didn't go well. But it went well. It was a huge smash hit, and this is what it is today. it shaped the wrestling industry. This is the reason why we have WrestleMania. This is the reason why every year people have to look forward to that grandest stage of them all. You know, so I think that's pretty cool, definitely. All right, number 9, I have back to back. I have Hulk Hogan. I have Hulk Hogan versus Sergeant Slaughter, WrestleMania 7. So Sergeant Slaughter, essentially, he returned as an Iraqi sympathizer, um, and also he was quote unquote a fan of Saddam Hussein. Um, and in August of 1990, the United States launched Operation Desert Shield for the first Gulf War. So it kind of played into politics a little bit. And, we don't like talk, no one likes to mix sports and politics together. But when wrestling did this, where you kind of had this guy, Sergeant Slaughter, representing the, quote unquote, the bad guys, um, I don't know. It's kind of like one of those things where it's like, oh my God, are they really doing this right now? That's crazy. And then this also got a lot of people on that, like, Hulk Hogan, he's the real American. He's the I am a real American. Like he had that theme song. Everybody got pumped up. And it was just like, I don't know, it kind of tied in real social issues with wrestling. But all in all, I thought that was I thought that was pretty crazy the way they did it. And obviously it was a huge smash hit. So looks like they rolled the dice and it paid off. Number 8, I have Triple H versus Chris Jericho, WrestleMania 18, 2002. This was a big deal because Triple H obviously won the Royal Rumble and he's been champion a couple of times. Chris Jericho, he unified the WCW World Heavyweight Champion and the WWE Championship, and he was the first ever undisputed champion. He defeated The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night. Um, and I don't know, I like this because it was kind of like that when Triple H got injured. He had the torn quadricep and he came back. It was kind of like him reclaiming his throne, kind of thing. Like he had the McMahon Helmsley thing that went on for a pretty long time, and even when he was off the screen and dealing with rehab and injury, like he still had Stephanie McMahon kind of walking around WWE and like going up to these superstars and kind of kissing them and stuff like that. Which I don't know. I give respect to Triple H in that fact that you know like they're married in real life, so it's kind of like one of those things where like, dang, like if I see my girl on TV like going around like doing that, I know it's all for entertainment. So essentially, it's like seeing like if you were dating Scarlett Johansson and watching her making out with somebody on the screen, like one of the Avengers, you'd be kind of like, oh damn, that sucks. But then it's just acting. It's just acting. So I don't know. I thought, and then Triple H came and he won and he beat Chris Jericho. So I thought that was super cool. All right, number 7, I have Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 34, 2018. So a lot of people didn't see this match turning out the way it did. You kind of had this total heel Brock Lesnar who's held the title hostage for so long, and Roman Reigns comes in, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, Roman Reigns is over with." Vince loves him. He's the baby boy of WWE. He's gonna be the one to dethrone Lesnar. So obviously that wasn't the case. There was a lot of moments where it showed that Roman Reigns was going to lose. This guy got like more than like 5 F5s. He was F5'd on the announce table, and he kept kicking out, and kicking out. So that's what gave people hope. That's why people were like, "Oh my God, yes, he's gonna like get Lesnar out of here. Like he doesn't, fight every week, or he doesn't represent the brand every week. This guy's like a part timer." That's what Roman Reigns, I believe, called him. But fact of the matter was, Lesnar retained, and everybody was kind of like that. Like, what the heck just happened? Like, no. Like, I remember watching it with my wife, and I was like, oh, great. Now we have a whole another year of this guy. But SummerSlam, they fought again, and Roman would win. But I don't know. I thought that was, pretty good match. Kind of shaped the WWE we have now. Um, Number 6, I have Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, WrestleMania 26, 2010. This is a big deal because as an Undertaker fan and Shawn Michaels fan, this was kind of like an end of an era. It was kind of like the end of an era. You have the new guys coming up. You had John Cena just completely making its hair. You had Bobby Lashley coming up, and and this was Shawn Michaels' retirement match. Like who other the face in your last retirement match against the Undertaker himself? They made a lot of like fans like cringe when they had that Hell in the Cell match. I think it was the first ever Hell in the Cell match at In Your House. and that's when Kane made his, debut. But I don't know. This was like a really big match, and you could tell after the match ended that this meant a lot to Sean. This meant a lot to Sean. This kept the Undertaker streak going. He was 18-0, but I don't know. Like I said before, this was a big match for Sean, and it was kind of like seeing Shawn Michaels go out there and leave it all out on the ring. You have your one of the coworkers that you've known for your whole entire life in the world of wrestling, and I don't know if he's the guy you kind of face for the last time. Then I don't know that I think that's kind of cool. Number 5, I have Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania 36, 2020. The reason why it's kind of so high on my list is because during the pandemic where there was no fans, they kind of gave these guys an empty arena. Absolutely everybody who participated in this main event. I think it was the introduction of night 2 and night 1, Saturday and Sunday. But how you got to give these guys a lot of credit. Like even if the fans weren't there, you could probably tell as a competitor. Like, imagine if you're out there, if you're a rock artist and you're singing and there's nobody out, and the fans jumping to your music, singing along with your music, or mosh pitting or whatever kind of music it is. But I don't know, it's kind of discouraging. But these two superstars, they still tore the house down. Drew McIntyre kicked out of 3 F5s, and Lesnar kicked out of 4 Claymores. And at the end of it, Drew McIntyre picked up the victory, and that's why I give him a lot of credit. And I hope WWE decides to put a belt on him pretty soon because I don't know, he did such a good job holding it up during the pandemic. Number 4, I have The Rock and John Cena. I think it was WrestleMania 2013. No, wait, it could be 2013. Anyways, so this is such a big deal in the wrestling world is because you have these two iconic superstars in John Cena and The Rock, and you don't really hate any of them. You don't really root against. You don't really want one of them to lose. Like you'll be like, "Let's go Cena," and all of a sudden be like, "Oh, stop!" But the Rock's on the other side. Let's go Rock, and then you're kind of stuck in this back and forth like battle within yourself of who you really want to root for. Um, so I think that they did really good in that. It was, I believe, it was the final match between the two, where at the end of the match they kind of held each other's hands up, and it was kind of like we did it all for the fans, and everybody loved it, and everybody into the project. And also another reason why I bring this up is because this was the reason why CM Punk, quote unquote, kind of had that pipe bomb, is because CM Punk kind of saw this as Dwayne and John headlining main event, a WrestleMania main event back to back. Like it was absolutely unnecessary in his eyes, and he deserved the push. And prior to that, he lost the belt to The Rock at the Royal Rumble when The Rock returned, and that kind of didn't really set well with CM Punk. And you could tell that like really bothered him, and you can see like from the fans the reason why they were like, oh my god, like CM Punk deserves a shot, and he really did deserve the shot. Honestly, I think WWE really dropped the ball when they gave CM Punk kind of like that cold shoulder, kind of like that, like, hey, you're not good enough to hold up the company like Dwayne is or like John Cena is. So we're just gonna go ahead and give you a pass on that one. So I think that's the reason why CM Punk was so pissed off, and definitely attributed to how the wrestling world is today. Number 3, you got to mention this one. You have Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair, WrestleMania 35. This was such a good. It was none other than a good match, but they did the promos super well. You have the 3 women main eventing WrestleMania, and that in itself is absolutely awesome. You had women's wrestling that was kind of under the bar for the longest time, and then not really on the main event kind of map. And you had these 3 superstars working their asses off, definitely playing the game of WWE and just showcasing their skills. And they did a damn good job. And you got to tip their hat to them. And that match kind of was another reason why Becky Lynch kind of is the superstar she is today. Like, I know when I saw that triple threat match card, I was like, oh, okay, you have the UFC fighter, you have Ronda, who's been killing everybody, man. She's been throwing people around like rag dolls. And then you had Charlotte Flair, future Hall of Famer, always wins, always has the belt, always seems like she's, kind of like the quote unquote, like the cereal box. Like she's going to be on the cereal box of Cheerios or Wheaties or something like that, representing the WWE. And then you had Becky Lynch, who I don't know, was kind of like this, kind of like the, I don't want to say she's the underdog, but she was kind of like that soft underdog. You know what I mean? Like where a lot of people didn't really see her coming out from this match, and she did, and that's the reason why Becky Lynch is, she's the man, or who she was Becky Two Belts. So I thought that was pretty cool. Number two, I have WrestleMania 2000. One of the reasons why this is so high on my list is because I remember watching this one growing up, and I also remember playing a video game on my Nintendo 64, which is arguably probably one of the best wrestling games of all time. Absolutely. And then you had WWF No Mercy follow, and a couple of SmackDown Bring the Pain with Brock Lesnar on it. But we're not here to talk about video games, although video games are awesome. But anyways, so you had Triple H, McMahon, Helmsley era. He was with Stephanie. And then you had The Big Show, who was kind of promoted by Shane McMahon. And you also had The Rock, who was kind of like Vince's guy to kind of dethrone all this just foolishness of the kids going at it. You have Triple H that was constantly cheating to win. You don't want a guy like that representing the company, so you have The Rock. And you had Linda McMahon kind of throw her hat in the ring as well and kind of bring back Mick Foley after he was constantly like just beat on by Triple H at the Royal Rumble, No Way Out, where he went through personas like Cactus Jack and stuff like that. Like it was crazy. So essentially, he had a McMahon in every corner. So that really kind of really impacted the wrestling world, is because you kind of had the chairman there kind of become a product of his own invention, if that makes any sense, because you had the four family members being broadcasted on cable television, as they were fighting each other, my superstar is better than you and stuff like that. And I thought it was super cool to how they came out there and kind of implemented that, keep it on the regular basis that at any time Vince McMahon can come in and challenge anybody, or he can team up with my son Show, and all that other good stuff. Number one, the only reason why I kind of have this number one is because it was such a huge moment, and I can kind of see this happening at WrestleMania 40 this Sunday. Is I have Bret Hart defeating Yokozuna at WrestleMania 10, 1994. They both fought 2 matches that night. You had Bret fighting his brother Owen. Owen got the best of him and finally was able to, beat his brother. But then you had that tie at the Royal Rumble between Bret Hart and Lex Luger, and Yokozuna defeated Lex Luger beforehand, and then he fought Bret Hart. And then the reason why I think this is such an iconic wrestling moment is because Yokozuna was just dominant. He was absolutely dominant. No one could touch him. No one could beat him. Kind of like Roman Reigns is right now. And Bret Hart came out, a grueling match with his brother before, came out, and he was able to dethrone Yokozuna and just free up that hostage WWE Championship and bring it back to kind of WWE's roster. And you saw people come out. You saw like Razor Ramon come out. You saw Randy Savage come out. They put Bret Hart on their shoulders, and they congratulated him like, "Hey, good job, man! Thank you so much. Thank you so much for bringing the title back. Bringing the title from Yokozuna and kind of giving us all a chance to fight." You know what I mean? And I think that was super cool. And I can see like Cody Rhodes beating Roman Reigns, and everybody comes out, congratulates Cody, and then kind of having this nice little celebration in the ring that we brought the title back down to earth. So yeah, those were my WrestleMania main events power rankings. I hope you liked them, mate. If you didn't, give tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net so we could talk about them. All right, so now, for my fourth and final segment, we're going to talk about, it's going to be a little dorky, it's going to be about Easter. It's going to be about WWE Easter dinner. So essentially, I'm going to talk about, it was so weird. We'll get into it, when it starts. Don't go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC. to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.